It's your girl Dee. Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So your girl is back with another reaction video for you guys. Now listen, I want to just tap into what Dr. Umar Johnson has said. So I want to get into
Johnson is his new name.
Comes from It's Up There.
Umar Johnson is his name because the reason I call him Umar is because he's fake, he's fugazi, he does not practice what he preaches, he contradicts, he oscillates. He's disingenuous. He's very dishonest. The reason yours truly calls him constant is because he manipulates his people. He deceives. He says lies pertaining to Caucasians, the whole Caucasian race, to people he disagrees with, to cause hate, to cause division. He's a hate baiter. He's a race baiter. F this bloke. F this race worshiper. F this race idolater. F this cultist. F this racist. F this goofy ninja.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee. Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So your girl is back with another reaction video for you guys. Now listen, I want to just tap into what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say about this. So I want to get into this particular clip. Now this comes from It's Up There podcast. I want to play what Umar Johnson had to say, you guys. Y'all definitely chime in. I want to hear what your thoughts on this. Do you agree, disagree? What's your thoughts all the way around? Let me know in the comments. But let's get into it. Here we go.
I want to start with the Karmelo Anthony case.
Yes, sir.
To me, it feels bigger than a courtroom. As a young black man that's convicted and there's a white young man the family is grieving, the internet is divided, and black parents are looking at this, wondering how do we protect our sons. Did you have a chance to look at the case, and what do you feel about, we'll get to the sentencing, let's deal with the verdict first. What do you feel about the verdict?
We'll get to the
sentencing.
The sentencing.
Yes,
okay. First of all, I want to say this. Caucasian nation, the good white folks are so disingenuous.
Here we go. This ninja has the temerity to call them disingenuous, bro. This dude who has a history, this ninja, this bloke who has a history of being disingenuous, dishonest, deceitful, deceptive. Bro, stop. Miss me.
What's your thoughts all the way around? Let me know in the comments.
Spare me, bro.
I want to start with the Karmelo Anthony case.
Yes, sir.
To me, it feels bigger.
He's a hypocrite.
There's a young black man that's convicted, and there's a white young man the family is grieving, the internet is divided, and black parents are looking at this, wondering how do we protect our sons. Did you have a chance to look?
Who takes Umar seriously, really?
We'll get to the sentencing. Let's deal
The
with
dupes and the fellow disgraces take this ninja seriously, bro.
Yes, okay. First of all, I want to say this.
This bloke is a bird.
The good white folks of America are so disingenuous. And the reason
Says you.
the Caucasian nation is so disingenuous is because when black people receive an unfair trial, we are supposed to respect the verdict.
Here we go.
But when white people feel that they haven't received a fair trial,
These monolithic remarks are insufferable, bro. These monolithic remarks are insufferable. These monolithic remarks are insufferable. The monolithic remarks are very insufferable.
is they always like to treat every black case in its own.
This is crazy. This is craziness. Goofiness, trash.
Anthony, we can't talk about. In other words, when we talk about, but when white people feel that they haven't received a fair trial, they don't have to respect the verdict. The other thing that makes Caucasian nations so disingenuous is they always like to treat every black case in its own special vacuum. In other words, when we talk about Karmelo Anthony, we can't talk about the man who took Trayvon Martin's life.
George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman. You can't put it in context. We can't talk about Rick Chow, who took Cyrus Carmack Melvin's life.
Listen, let me just stop and pause.
Yeah, Rick Chow. Yeah, it is crazy that the wokies make it seem like he was malicious, bro. This dude, he was in reasonable fear of losing his life, bro. He had a reasonable fear. He had a reasonable fear that he and his son were going to lose their lives, bro. So he did what he thought was necessary, bro. They saw the gun. There was no evidence to prove that Cyrus aimed the 9mm, the Taurus 9mm gun with the laser on it, but they did see the gun. They didn't know what Cyrus was going to do with the gun, so the father, Rick, he did what he thought was necessary, bro. He shot him in the back. He didn't just leave him there either. He did CPR. He did mouth to mouth. He tried to revive Cyrus, bro. There was remorse. There was some remorse, at least in his heart. There was no malice. They couldn't prove malice, so he was able to walk free. The verdict was not guilty. This was the correct verdict. He was legally justified in what he did. You can morally disagree, yes. Rick did go overboard in the situation when but to say he was not legally justified is crazy, bro.
George Zimmerman.
You can't put it in context.
Hey, mix.
We can't talk about Rick Chow, who took Cyrus Carmack Melvin's life.
Listen, let me just stop and pause for a second because he's absolutely right, and I spoke to this as well.
Nah,
There's always
Dee Dee.
an excuse as to why the cases aren't similar and
She's
why
tripping.
one is justified versus the other. But if anytime it's a black person that's involved, there's no justification. Oh my God, they were just wrong. Period. Point blank. Period. It doesn't matter who you are, and I think that's what we see.
Yo, the wokeness is crazy. The level of wokery. The level of wokery is crazy.
Look at it for what it is. You see the difference. You see it. We see it. We've been watching it for years. It's not a new thing. And I think some people want to be blinded to the truth because they want to be accepted or they don't want to accept the fact of what it is. And I know there are a lot of people who are like, oh my God, it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with race. There are several cases and more cases that people are bringing up to show you. And a lot of these cases are still in the same state of Texas where it looked like an injustice. Every black young boy is not a YN running around here committing crime. Okay? But a lot of black men are presumed to be that because of the
There are people of all races who are presumed to be violent, who are falsely accused. It isn't limited to the black men, to young black men. Young Caucasian men get falsely accused too. Not all, certain young Caucasian men get falsely accused. Certain young Asian men, certain young black men, certain young Arab men get falsely accused. This isn't limited to one population, one group, one community of people. In Karmelo's case, he didn't get falsely accused of murder. He really did do murder. He provoked. He told Austin, touch me, then see what happens. He had his hand in his backpack. He had a knife, bro. He forced the knife in Austin's chest, bro, into Austin's chest. He forced the knife into Austin's chest, killing him. He did force this knife into Austin's chest, killing him. So, yeah. This isn't injustice. This isn't injustice or discrimination or racism. This is justice. It is what it is.
A lot of black men are presumed to be that because of the stereotypes. A lot of good young black men are put in the same, same equation as other young men who are out here committing crimes and doing things. That's the problem. See, there's no separation, and it's not looked at on an individual basis from what we see to determine.
These monolithic remarks are crazy.
You're automatically considered guilty because you're black.
No evidence to prove. There's no evidence to prove this to be true.
Everybody is doing this, but for the
She's saying baseless things. She's letting emotion dictate instead of putting logic above emotion. She's putting emotion above logic. This is crazy. It is understandable, but it is goofy.
Call it for what it is. If you're out here committing crimes, you need to be dealt with. If you're not, then you have to be held accountable accordingly, or go by the court of law, what it's supposed to be. But when
nobody is immune to consequences, regardless of race, religion, political party, orientation. No one on earth is immune to consequences. Nobody on earth is immune to consequences. No one is above the law. No one is above punishment.
But there's double standards and we see it. We're not blind to the truth. That's all I want to say about that, but let's continue.
We can't talk about
the people who say the people who say blacks are above punishments are detrimental. They don't have the best interests of black people. They pretend to love blacks, but they really don't.
If you're not, then you have to be held accountable accordingly, or go by the court of law, what it's supposed to be. But when people take the law into their own hands and do something, and if they're not black, then they're not held to the same standard. We know that guy that Chinese.
What's evidence do you have to prove this to be
true? We
true?
know that because if a black man had done that to a white boy or any other race of white, he would be in jail. There would be no questions asked. Black and white people alike would be sitting here saying, "Well, he got what he's supposed to get. He should be in jail. He should be. He shouldn't have chased him. Why did you call the police?" But there's double standards and we see it. We're not blind to the truth. That's all I want to say about that, but let's continue.
We can't talk about Kyle Rittenhouse getting off. Rittenhouse getting off.
Yeah, this is crazy, bro. This is stupid. Kyle Rittenhouse, 3 people were coming after him. They were going after him, bro. They were throwing stuff. They were intending to do harm to him, bro. Physical harm. Unprovoked physical harm. Kyle did not initiate harm in Wisconsin, bro. He didn't provoke these people. They came after him, bro. So he did what he had to do to preserve his life, bro. What did you want Kyle to do? Let them kill him? Let them take him away from this earth? Are you stupid? Yo. This ninja, he's not stupid. He is just purposely deceitful. He is a bozo, bro. Kyle, Kyle did not provoke, but he wants to make it seem like he did to cause hatred of Caucasian men, of Caucasian people. This dude, he's terrible, bro. This ninja, Umar, he's sucky, he's poopy, he's crappy, he's cruddy, he's crummy, he's all of these things. He's a disgrace. The people who take him seriously, they are bugging. This is nuts, bro. He's comparing Karmelo to Kyle, bro. Kyle to Karmelo. This is crazy. It is the Kyle situation is all the way different from the Karmelo stuff, bro. Kyle, this dude really had a reasonable fear of losing his life, bro. He really did have a reasonable fear of losing his life. He really did have a reasonable fear of losing his life, bro. He killed 2 people, he shot 1. He killed 2 people and shot 1. He killed a domestic abuser, a SA'er, and shot a man with an invalid gun permit, Grosskreutz, however you pronounce his name. Huber was a domestic abuser. Rosenbaum was an SA'er, bro. He got scums. He took 2 scumbags away from this earth in self-defense. There's no problem with what Kyle. I don't have a problem with what Kyle did, bro. He engaged in self-preservation. They tried to harm him, so He did what he had to do. What did he want the kids to do? Let them kill him? Let them delete him? Nah, bro. Stupidity, bro. You are stupid. You are a bozo. Not just you. Yeah, you know you are the opposite of stupid. You are intelligent. You do know. You are just bogus, bro. You are just evil, malicious, unlaudable, unrighteous, disreputable, devoid of rectitude, devoid of principles, devoid of scruples, devoid of morals of you.